Okay, so I've resorted to drastic measures. Sorry guys if this does look bad, but I'm trying for a new thing. Okay, so welcome. If you've already seen my channel before, welcome back. I'm the Philadelphia Whovian. And if you've seen my videos in the past, you know I've been struggling when it comes to working with a camera, so I've gotten desperate. I realized, okay, so I have no idea how to work with this new camera I've gotten, so what did I do? I've decided to try and improvise and wear makeup. So this is me wearing makeup, trying to give you something possibly presentable. I apologize so much if it still looks bad, but this is my test video, where I'm saying that if this does not look good, then please tell me so I know to do no more videos like this. And I figured, let me start out with doing a video, not on the stuff I was talking about before, but some smaller stuff I know only certain fans of mine would probably want to enjoy watching. So, and please guys, fans, listen to me, look at me, look at me. If this looks bad, tell me the truth. Don't be afraid to tell me the truth and say, hey, the makeup didn't work, it still looks pretty crummy, sorry, and I know not to do another video. So this is me just trying to improvise. And hopefully this works out. If not, don't worry, I can take a hint, and it sucks. Don't do more videos. That's what I know. Okay, so this is going to be about a story that, by God, a lot of people just don't like. The Dominators. And how I am one of maybe the only 5 people who like this story. The Dominators is the first story, I believe, of the second Doctor's third and last season. He is now the companion's Jamie still, but he also has Zoe as a companion as well. And this story, look, let me give you a fun little story about the Dominators. Okay, when I got the Dominators, it was on eBay. It was eBay bid. What I mean by that is, as you all know, if you've been on eBay, people post their, DVDs, and they put a bid for it, and then you try and bid for it and try and get the highest bid. There were 2 videos at the same time that I put bids for. This and the 4th Doctor story, The Invisible Enemy. Thinking there is no way in God's green earth I am ever going to get the Invisible Enemy, but I'm sure I'm going to get the Dominators. And so I was prepared for not getting the Dominators, getting the Dominators easily, but not getting the Invisible Enemy. And so as the days go by, guess what happens? People are bidding on the Dominators. They're not bidding on the Invisible Enemy. Yes, they're bidding on the Dominators. And the bid got higher and higher and higher, and I just stopped competing. I'm like, what the hell? This is a story that only me and like 2 other people like. Who the hell is bidding on the Dominators? So I lost my bid for the Dominators, but I got the bid for the Invisible Enemy and K9 and Company. I felt like I was in the Twilight Zone of Whovians. I really did. It was so strange. But then eventually someone else sold their copy of The Dominators, and I got it for actually a really good price. And sorry if the color on this camera keeps changing. It's the camera. It's not me. I swear to God, it's the camera, not me. So let's get into the story of the Dominators. Okay. The Doctor and Jamie and Zoe, they arrive on a planet called Dulcus, which is a very peaceful planet. When I say peaceful, I mean peaceful. The people on this planet have no war, pretty much, and any weapons they used to have is in a museum. But then you have the Dominators. They come in and they mine out this planet that they're on, or the Dulcans, kind of pretty much. It's a planet that the Dulcans, reside over, but they don't really live there because of all of the problems like the radiation or the problems with the planet because of all the warfare that happened a long time ago. All they've got there is a museum, and there are survey teams or teams of students that come and study. The Dominators come there, and the Dominators are exactly what the Dominators claim to be. Dominators. They easily will kill, well, one of them, of the 2, will easily kill you in a second because you are a different species under the idea that you are still a danger to their, plan. And their plan is to pretty much break apart this planet so the planet's core can kind of rise up and they can use it for fuel. So they're going to destroy this planet and therefore kill anyone who's a part of it who is not essential to their planet, being slave labor. and the Doctor and Jamie and Zoe go there. And it's about pretty much helping Dolgus learn how to accept the fact that they have to rise up and crush this foe of the Dominators. Now, this was a story I heard so much hate about. It was so hated that it got into my top 10 overhated list because it was so hated that I was prepared for it, and therefore I was pleasantly surprised by it. And I want to make it very clear, guys, I understand why people do not like this, but I can't help but think that this is secretly genius. Why? Because the story is about a planet that has become so peaceful, they are impotent. And I like that. What I like about this is that it shows how peace is a very good idea, but at the end of the day, you need to be able to defend yourself. Because these people are so peaceful, they can't even supply resistance, even when the Dominators are coming in and are conquering their people and enslaving them and making them work. They sit there and they wait. And there was even one person who came in to help the council decide what to do, and he gave 3 options, and the main thing they did was still sit there and wait. And the Doctor and Jamie show up when Zoe's still on the planet with the survey team, or the team doing the study team, and they are saying, look, Zoe is in danger. Especially Jamie's like, Zoe is in danger. Your people are literally being oppressed by the Dominators. You have to do something. And they are not equipped to do it. And I like that with the Dominators. I like the idea of a story. It's like, hey, peace is good, but you have to be able to defend yourself. It's not offering a naivety. And it even goes down to the second Doctor himself. With the second Doctor in this story, he likes the Dalkins, he loves their peaceful race, but at the same time, when the Dominators are conquering, and then eventually Jamie comes up with the idea of catching the device they're sending to the bottom of the planet to break it up, the bomb, catching it. What does the second Doctor do? And the second Doctor is this hobo, this funny, clownish kind of character, but at the end of the day, what did he do? He took that bomb, threw it into the Dominator ship as it was flying off, and destroyed and killed the Dominators. He blew up the Dominators. The second Doctor blew them up, showing how the Doctor is a complex character, or should be. He's all about peace, he loves peace, but at the end of the day, a good man sometimes has to go to war. Which is why I've always had, well, my favorite era of the New Who would be the 11th Doctor era, because we have a Doctor who over time gradually was learning, you know, in a world, in the universe where things are complicated and violent, I sometimes have to fight or go to war and not be naive about things. And that was my problem with previous eras of New Who, is the idea of the Doctor, yes, he's peaceful, but he's so peaceful to the point where he is suicidal, or he doesn't understand that the ways he does things does not always work, or sometimes peace is good, but you have to sometimes fight. It's more nuanced, and that's what I absolutely love about the Dominators. It is way more nuanced in that peace is good, but you got to be able to defend yourself. It's more realistic, and I like that. And I also like that everything about this story is kind of centered around embracing a reality in some way, shape, or form. Like when Zoe, the Doctor, and Jamie show up, and the survey team were the students. When Zoe is and Jamie's like, well, yeah, I'm surprised that you guys can, like, you know, take the news of our arrival so easily, even though you don't know much about time travel, if anything about time travel. And the girl says back to him, well, it's useless to argue against facts. You know, you are here, therefore it's obvious must be the fact that you got here by traveling through space or time in some way, shape, or form. I have to embrace the reality. It's about embracing the reality and civilization having to come to terms with things. And then you also have the idea of submission versus fighting, and you see the conflict. Zoe tries to get them, when the Dominators are enslaving them and making them move things, trying to get them to preserve the energy of the quarks. I mean, that's when the Dominators had them do slave labor. Zoe's trying to get them to fight, and one side of them is like, well, we can't fight, we have to submit. Another person's like, submission is humiliating. You have these two parts of the argument coming at you at one time. But this is another thing that makes this episode genius, or the story genius to me. And this is not something I came up with. When I was doing my top 10 overhated lists, somebody else pointed this out when I did the slot of the Dominators. They said what this story does a very good job of showing is how you underestimate people who are considered stupid in this story, and look what happens. They were the ones who were right all along. You have the Dominators. The head Dominator does not listen to his subordinate, who is a bloodthirsty guy, and it turns out he was right. I mean, the bloodthirsty one is just, he was disgustingly bad, but he was right. He had a reason to want to kill them because it turns out they turned around and they did destroy the Dominators. And he even said in the very beginning, we should not mine this planet, we should go to a different planet. And his superior said, no, we should not. This planet is perfect for our needs. But he was against that. He was, the subordinate was against it. And look what happened. They ended up being destroyed and not being able to report back to their fleet, and they failed at their mission. The subordinate was correct. To worry about Jamie and Zoe, and not Jamie and Zoe, the Doctor and Jamie, when they decided that those two were stupid, they were incompetent, the subordinate, was still apprehensive about them, but the head, his leader, didn't care. He's like, they're too stupid. They're not a threat. But they were a threat. Then you have Jamie, who is more primitive when it comes to intelligence to the Doctor and Zoe, but he ends up being the one who solves a lot of the problems. Again, but the difference is that between the Doctor and the leader of the Dominators is the leader never listens to his subordinate. The Doctor at first does not listen to Jamie, but eventually he does listen to Jamie, and Jamie was right all along, and Jamie ultimately solved the problem. It's the idea of don't underestimate the person who is described as being the idiot, but rather understand that they probably know something you don't. It's what I call the Luna Lovegood situation, where Luna in Harry Potter was ridiculed by a lot of people as being loony, but she actually was insightful and could deduce things better than certain other people could. She could see things other people could not see. The idea of underestimating the idiot. And when you have Jamie and the Doctor pretending to be stupid, when they were captured by the Dominators, he said, because the Doctor says, if we act like we're stupid, we are harmless to them and we can get away. And he was right. Be careful of idiots, this story shows you. Because idiots, they're the ones who actually see the truth behind everything, and they actually are the ones, because you are harmless, they can survive the longest. And that was a trick I learned when I was back in college. Even before college, before I went off to college, I learned that idiots, if you let people think you're stupid, you have the greatest chance always of survival. It's strange, I know it, but it does work in that way. And it helped me survive college a great deal. Being a writer in college, I wanted to know the truth about everyone and everything around me. And the truth is, it's always the idiots who people show their real nature to, but at the same time I think are too harmless to do anything about it. So you may get ridiculed and laughed at, but you get by unscathed ultimately. And you have stories to tell. So that's why I think The Dominators is very good. It's a very good story to me. Sorry, I should be a bit closer. Dominators is a very good story to me, because I think it actually has a lot of good things to say, and the whole script centers around that. So thank you guys so much for watching. Again, if this does not look good, tell me. And I know it's a failed attempt. I won't do another video. And I hope the makeup helped things. I really hope it did. I did my best to try and distract you from the fact that this looks terrible. So thank you guys so much. Oh, and good news. If I don't do another video, at least I get to announce this. Guess what arrived in the mail today? Blackadder! Yes, I have a copy of some of the Blackadder episodes. It is glorious. Yes, I own Blackadder. I am so going to watch it when I get home from work tonight. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'm the Philadelphia Whovian, and you guys were absolutely awesome just for getting through this video. Wow. Seriously, pat yourself on the back and have a happy new year. Now, gotta try and improvise and turn this off. Bye, guys.